I found out my wife had a secret second phone, and the truth shattered me. It all started when my wife, Emma, left her bag on the counter last week. Her phone was charging on the table, but I heard buzzing from her bag. I thought maybe I was imagining it, but when I walked closer, the sound was unmistakable. Confused, I waited until she went to shower. That's when I opened the bag. I felt like I was doing something wrong, but curiosity overwhelmed me. Inside, I found a sleek black phone I'd never seen before. I turned it on, and the first thing I saw was the lock screen. A picture of Emma sitting on a bench, smiling at a man I didn't recognize. It felt like my stomach dropped to the floor. I opened the Messages app, and my worst fears came true. There were texts from a contact saved as J. Things like, "Last night was amazing," and "Does he suspect anything?" I kept scrolling and found pictures of them together. Some were at restaurants, others in what looked like a hotel room. We've been married for 8 years. We have 2 kids. A 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. I thought we were happy. Now I'm questioning everything. I haven't confronted her yet. I don't even know where to start. Do I ask her directly? Do I gather more proof? All I know is that my world has been flipped upside down.
My best friend confessed she's been in love with my husband for years. Now what? My best friend, Sophie, and I have been inseparable since college. She's practically family. She's godmother to my kids, spends holidays with us, and has been my go-to person for everything. So when she came over last Friday for a wine night, I wasn't expecting anything out of the ordinary. A few glasses in, she got quiet. That's not like her. Sophie is always the loud, confident one. Then, out of nowhere, she said, "I need to tell you something before I explode. I've been in love with him." At first, I thought she was joking, but she wasn't. She was talking about my husband. She insisted she's never acted on her feelings and never would, but she also admitted that it's been eating her alive for years. I didn't know what to say. I felt betrayed, even though technically she hasn't done anything wrong. Now, every time I see her, I feel uneasy. Worse, I've started noticing every interaction between her and my husband, who, by the way, has no idea about any of this. Or does he? I don't know what to do. Should I tell him? Distance myself from her? Try to fix this? I'm lost.
I caught my brother-in-law stealing from my kids' college fund, and my family thinks I'm overreacting. My husband and I worked hard to set up a college fund for our 2 kids. We're not wealthy, but we wanted to make sure they wouldn't have to struggle like we did. Since my brother-in-law, Mark, is a financial advisor, we trusted him to manage the account. Last week, I logged in to check the balance out of curiosity. It was 0. At first, I thought there was some mistake, but after hours on the phone with the bank, I learned that the account had been emptied over the past 6 months. When I confronted Mark, he broke down and admitted everything. He'd lost a lot of money gambling and borrowed the funds, planning to pay it back before we noticed. He begged me not to tell my husband, but I did. And you know what my husband said? He's family. Let's handle this quietly. My in-laws think I'm overreacting too. They've even said, "It's just money. Don't ruin the family over it." But what about my kids? How do I just let this go?
My mom showed up at my wedding uninvited, and her speech exposed a secret I never knew. My relationship with my mom has always been rocky. 3 years ago, I cut her out of my life entirely after she spread lies about me to the rest of the family. She wasn't invited to my wedding for obvious reasons, but on the big day, as I was walking down the aisle, I saw her sitting in the back row. I tried to stay focused, but I couldn't stop glancing at her. How did she even find out about the wedding? During the reception, she grabbed the microphone and started giving an apology speech. At first, I was too stunned to stop her, but then she said, "I'm sorry I never told you the truth about your real father." The room went silent. My husband tried to grab the mic, but she wouldn't stop. She said my dad wasn't biologically mine, and that she had an affair before I was born. I was humiliated and blindsided. My wedding day is supposed to be one of the happiest days of my life, and now it's the day I found out my whole life was a lie.